goes. Being traumatized. I know, it's scary. Nobody likes to be traumatized. It's an experience that nobody really likes. It's the fear of something that makes you anxious, scared, anything. But realistically though, being traumatized is the most insane type of experience that everybody always deal with. Now I know everybody's not familiar with being traumatized, but I can tell you that there's a lot of things that can scare you or confuse you or makes you extremely anxious. But the fear of anxiety of something that might affect you later on in life is basically that one thing that make you go like,
Oh, that's something that's been haunting my brain since 2 a.m.
3 a.m., 9 a.m. Oh my god, I've been experiencing this for a very long time. But anyways, let me be realistic with you guys. Have y'all ever been traumatized or dealt with a traumatizing experience? Because I tell people this, I've been through a lot. You know, being traumatized is not a very solidifying experience. Because, some people say, oh, a lot of people don't go through a lot of trauma because trauma is not actually a terrifying thing that everybody deals with in the world. And I'll be like, well, you're wrong. Because the fear of having something that scares you the most can actually stick with you for either the rest of your life or until that problem gets fixed. Now, I know being traumatized is not a exciting experience to go through, but it's something that everybody deals with every day, which that makes it more interesting. I'm not saying let's all be scared of everything that we be seeing, like people, video games, the world, parents. I mean, everybody gets traumatized by anything that comes around and goes around. That's basically how it goes. But I'm gonna tell y'all this. Trauma doesn't have to be like always an unfolded experience where everybody just looks at you being like, sir, are you okay in the head right now? Or miss, I hate to break it to you, but it looked like you need some help.
Are you sure you're okay, or are you just...
Talking nonsense and having these weird things that are wrapping around your head. Well, don't listen to those people. They just don't know what kind of experience that you are going through. Same like how you don't know what they are going through. It works in both ways if that answers your question. But anyways, if you really want to make sure that you want to solve this problem, there's some ways of how you can solve a traumatizing experience so that way you don't have to deal with something like this for the rest of your life, or at least till you figure out how to fix the situation to find you all that helpable ability that you need. Like for starters. So why don't you try and go ahead and talk to people about your experience? It doesn't have to be like a relative or like a professional person. You can just start off with like basic people like your friends or someone that you know. You can tell your teacher and say like, hey, I'm going through a problem and I need some help. It's been in the back of my head for a very long time, or for a while, I should say. And that's the only way you're going to solve that situation. Hey, you can always just tell them and be like, hey, I'm a little bit concerned about my personal well-being. Do you have any advice that can kind of fix this situation? So why don't you go ahead and tell them like that? Or if you can, if it's available to you, someone that you can actually put your well trust in. Because, the lack of trauma, that can be stuck with you for the rest of your life. It's always good to tell people an experience that you had that make you extremely anxious and kind of still haunts you to this day, or not, but it can be there and it can weigh you down and try to prevent you to do other things that might make you regret doing for later. You might do something exciting in life, but when that trauma comes back in, it folds things open that you were trying to keep closed for the longest time. Now, second, I know some people don't do it often, but it's always good to take some sort of minor medication, because here's another thing what trauma develops. It also is in that same category wheel of having anxiety, or basically the lack of not having something that makes you terrified. So if you're trying to find some ways that will keep you calm, motivated, get you out of that experience that kind of made you stuck like that for the rest of your life, then go for it. Try to take some minor medication. I know minor medication is not really everybody's cup of tea, because when some people think like, oh, why should I take medication? I don't have like ADHD problems, I don't have mental health problems, why should I take it for pure trauma? It's always good to take care of those things, because remember, this is something I'm going to tell you guys, and it's going to be something really realistic. It's always good to take care of your personal well-being. Even though some people don't really like to take care of it, it's always good to take care of your health, so that way everybody doesn't be all like, are you okay? Do you need help? Are you worried about something? You can always tell people that because, it's always an experience that everybody tells you. Sure, it may be a minor influx, but it's always good to take some type of medication to keep you in the habit of having an open mind, if that makes sense. But there's also a third way of solving it. And the third way might be a little bit more interesting. It probably might help, but I think the best way you can do that is just try to find ways to like cope. Now, coping is like a type of mechanism that keeps your mind busy. So think about something that's not scary and something more exciting. Like go gardening, plant a seed in the ground, grow it every single day, and it'll keep your mind focused. Or how about something like video games? Play something that's like simple. I don't know, like Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, Tamagotchi Life, just stuff like that. So just try to find things that will keep your mind busy so that way it doesn't, overcome your head. And I know there might be some intentional behaviors where being like,
What if I want to do something inappropriate to cope with my brain?
don't worry, I have ways to fix that. I know there's always like a habit that you develop, which is also kind of like another topic that I can kind of throw in. There's always things as good habits and bad habits. Good habits can be something like, oh, I'm doing something productive, fun, entertaining. It's keeping my hands and brains and minds and everything else functioning properly without just being all like,
I'm scared. Let's do this. Let's do something bad.
so that's where bad habit comes in. Bad habit is basically like an experience where you just look at yourself and say, what am I doing? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? I don't know, but I kind of like it, but I also don't. Wait, should I like this? And that's where it's going to click into your head. Having that kind of intentional thought that makes you be like, oh my God, I just brought back an experience where I always keep being so indecisive about the stuff that I do.
Oh my God, I think I might have ADHD.
No, wait, it's not ADHD. I think it's something else. What is this
Feeling.
I feel a bit concerned about myself.
I don't know how to handle this situation.
I'm scared. Somebody help me. It's okay, people. I know this is quite a lot to take in, but that's basically how it is. I'll be like, too much? Yeah, that's kind of the point. But it's not a bad thing, I promise you. Let's be realistic here. I know some people don't have really a lot of ways to fix some type of trauma issue that they have because, it's basically goes back to PTSD, anxiety, mentality health of today. And I'll tell people this. I'll be like, hey, it's okay because, we all go through those kind of traumatizing struggles. I mean, we all been there, right? So why don't we go ahead and try to figure this out? And I know this kind of doesn't apply in today's world, but I tell people this, it's okay to take care of your mentality health so that way you don't have to worry about your mental health in the future, because we all know that mental health is like the main biggest struggle that everybody goes through. So I'm gonna tell y'all this, and this is a type of thing that I've been trying to think of for a while, but I think this might really work well if it works for anybody that wants to deal with something like this. But I'm gonna tell y'all this. Taking care of mental health is good. Leaving it unattended is bad. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a way, but there is a way to take care of it if it's still bad. So everybody has that kind of thing where they have to try to find their ways to take care of their mental health. But it's always good to have that some sort of expectations to be like, how do I take care of this if I don't know how or where or this, that, and the third? Well, that's okay because, it's always good to find a way to fix that constant struggle, even though it's kind of hard to look for now or probably in between, because I know some people don't really take care of their health that much. But enlightenment, this is an enlightening experience. I'm gonna tell you guys that, even though we all go through that trauma that we always kind of deal with every single day, that we wake up, go to work, go to sleep, go do whatever we gotta do, that's a human-like behavior. I know we always do those kind of things, but I'm gonna tell you this, mentality health is really, really hard to deal with, but it'll be really good at the end because you're finding ways to take care of it. Now, I know this is kind of like all over the place and it's not technically talking about trauma, but trauma kind of opens up those gaps that are in that same type of world. So if you really want to take care of those kind of things, it's always good to start with step one, doing it in different ways of where you can find a way to take care of your mental health. Now, I know step one is a bit of a risk, but you can start at step 0. It's a kind of word that I'm starting off with. You know, step 0. Before you get to step 1, there's a step 0. Starting small. 1 is doing something. 2 is progressing it. 3 is you starting to achieve it. 4 is you completed it. Now, it's a small group of steps to follow, but each in that said group of those said steps, it will actually work well for you at the end. So I call it step 0. That's basically what I'm calling it. Step 0, like as in we start off here first before we get to step 1. Even though 0 means nothing, that's kind of where it starts off at. You start that nothing and turning it into something. So that is where you can begin something like that. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I know this is kind of like an interesting video to talk about, even though some people don't really like controversial stuff. But I'm gonna really tell y'all this. It's always good to take care of an experience that has been lacking inside of your head for the longest time that's preventing you to do stuff. And it's always good to take care of your mental health, because if you don't take care of it, it might kind of stick with you for the rest of your life, or it might make you do bad things. Even though I'm not saying it will always make you do bad things, I'm just saying it's a basic requirement of what you will have in that mental health capacity. But thank you guys for watching or listening wherever you watching this at, and I appreciate you guys sticking around for watching this kind of stuff. So I'll have more better videos like this in the future, and talk to you guys later. All right, stay safe and bless. Peace.